Welcome back, CSC103, to 17EC. This is our extra credit Random Spongebob exercise. You can see how there's a lot going on here. This may be confusing. That's why I put this as an extra credit assignment. So once you did the Show Patrick one, you could work on this. But if you like doing all this stuff, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, all this, if you really dig it, then hopefully you're having fun. So we got this thing working. So it's showing random SpongeBob characters using a random number. It's pulling an image from a list. It's pulling a name from a list. And it's actually pulling colors from the list, which are all kind of matched up. So they're in sync with each other. Now, if we want to reset this, you could just run it and reset the whole page. I think that would actually just reset everything. But if you were on a web page, you wouldn't have that, or you'd have to refresh the page. So we want to make a button to reset. So the first thing we'll do is we'll make a button in our CSS, which is fairly easy to do. We can just copy the original one, and there's the original button, and it'll go side by side if we want to. So I'm actually gonna hit a return here and do this again. And again, it doesn't matter what lines you put HTML code on. So here's a second button here, and instead of display image, we'll call it reset. And instead of onClick equals show character, we'll use a function called reset. Now you might say, well, you didn't make the function yet. No, I didn't, but I'm going to make a function called reset, and I'll make sure I do it just like that. So I'm going to make sure I do that, and let's hit run here. I don't know if I'm going to get an error because I don't actually have a reset function yet. I'll probably get an error when I do this. I'll get some error. But that's working, and display image is working, but I am going to get a JavaScript error because I don't have a reset when I hit the reset button. Now what the reset will do is it should turn both the div and the h2 elements back to being blank from having content. So let's make a function that resets. So I'm going to say function reset. That'll be the name of the function, and I'll put my parentheses and then a space, and I'll use my two curly braces. And what's going to happen here is when I hit the reset button, it'll turn all the images, I guess. I'll have to double check this. I think I did it a different way, and I'll just paste it here. Now, what are we going to do? We want the pick here to be nothing. So let's just do this. Let's just put empty quotes. That'll be nothing. So the image will be nothing. And how about the name? The name will be nothing. We'll just delete that and put double quotes. And how about the color? I don't even think we need this, because if there's no name, there's no color. So let's just delete this line. So I think we just need these two lines. I know on the other one I looked at, I had something with opacity, but let's see if this works. This should reset this thing to nothing and this thing to nothing. So let's see if that works. Let's hit save up here. And remember, I have my function call there already. I already put it there. So there's my function call. So if you didn't do that, make sure you do it, and it's in that second button. So this might work. Let's just save it. You can hit run again, although run's kind of confusing here. That should just start off the page like refreshing the page. And let's hit display image, that's working. Let's hit reset. That works. Let's see if display image works. And that's working. So that's all you need to do, is just make the image blank and the name blank, and that works fine. You don't have to do anything with opacity. So that's fine. That was pretty easy. And the last thing we could do here, if we want to change the background color of our page, we can go here to body, because we do have a body tag, and maybe we'll just find a nice blue color, and I'll just put background color and a colon, and you can put a space, and I'll go to assets. I'll find a nice oceany background color here, and I'll X out of that and just paste it here and put a semicolon. Again, even in CSS we need our semicolons there. So the body background color, let's hit save. Let's run it to refresh it, and let's just see if it works okay. These are pings, so they should show up okay, and some of them might be a little harder to read. We might want to go a little lighter, but that's not bad. We could go lighter with that background color. SpongeBob looks better. And maybe we want to change this up here, put a nice font and a nice color. So how do we do that again? Let's go to Google Fonts, because we do this in other classes. Let's go to Google Fonts. Just search Google Fonts. We'll do the big boy way. We'll go to Browse Fonts. And let's say you want a nice slab serif. You can go to categories here, and I'm going to just choose serif. Now they don't have slab serif, but I'll just go look for something that looks slabby. Here's Roboto Slab. That's fine. I can click on variable just to see what it looks like. And I might want to use something like black 900. And actually, I'm going to select this style. You can select this style and I'll show you what happens. You select this style and it shows link code or import code. And that's what was showing in assets. But I'm just going to use the import code. And I don't need the style. I'm not putting it in HTML. So I'm just going to highlight this. It's going to go in our CSS. So you don't need the style tags. So you can just actually copy this. They might have a copy button. But I'm just going to copy that import thing. Just copy it right out of there. And then go back here. And I'll put it at the beginning of my CSS. Put it at the top. And it's going to use Roboto slab. Now I'm just going to go back here. Here it has the CSS rule, what that looks like. You might as well copy this. You can copy that. Copy font family. And I'm going to go back here. And what font family is it? Well, it's the H1. Remember, it's an H1, Random Spongebob character. So we could go down here. It doesn't matter where you put it. Now I have to target H1 and then use my curly braces, and then I'll just paste that. And it has font family Roboto slab. And you could put something else in here. You could put like Georgia in here if you want. Now it's not using bold, so you'd have to put a heavy in here, but I think we're only using this one. I don't think we have to put a font weight. You could try it. You could do something here and do font dash weight, and I'm just going to put 900. And sometimes you could just put in bold, but it's using the 900. It has weight here 900. So I think it was going to use that anyway, but I don't think it'll hurt to put font weight 900. And if you want a color, just go here and put color, colon, and you don't put font color, you just put color. And then if you want a nice bright pink color or something, I'll just go to assets and go back to colors, real deep dark, more magenta looking. And I'll go back here and paste that and hit save, hit run. Now that looks a little better. Or we could have lightened up the background, but that looks better. You could even change this font if you want. If the paragraph font, if you wanted to put it in a sans serif or something like that, you could certainly change that, put it Arial or something, or even just sans serif. And I'll show you how to do that real quick since this video isn't going as long as the other ones. We'll go here and we'll just say P, and we'll put that, and we'll put our curly braces, and then we'll just say font family, and I could just copy this font family, and I'll put it here. Now, we're not going to use Roboto slab or anything, although you could, but you could just put sans dash serif down here. You could make this maybe Calibri and, Arial or something like that, or Arial first and then Calibri if you wanted something like that. And I'll put Arial and make sure that I just have sans serif like that with a dash. So if it doesn't have any of those, and I'll hit save. And I'll hit run. And you can see now that's showing up in a sans serif font. And it's just the P tag. I selected the P, so it's doing that. If you want it bigger, you can make it bigger, but that's fine. So this thing's working. We're displaying our Random Spongebob characters. We have a reset button, and I think we're done. And we threw in a little CSS and import. Got that from Google Fonts. They have a large selection of fonts that you could use online, so that it'll work on every computer since it's getting it from the web. And that's all you need to do. So when you're done, you're just going to go here and save. Make sure if you haven't saved, you saved. And then you can right click here and say copy link address, or you can copy this link address, and you're just going to paste that into your add comment. And I think what I'll do is, this worked for another assignment. I think what I'll do is I'll just put that in I'll add the bonus points to your Patrick show hide. Because I can't add bonus points if there's no credit. If it's considered ungraded, I can't add bonus points to it. But I'll still put it there. But basically, you could paste it in there, or you could paste it in with your Patrick show hide. And I'll add bonus points to your previous exercise, the one with the show hide Patrick. So I'll add 25 points to that. So if you got whatever you got for that, you'll get 25 points for doing this too. And if you want more points, or if you're like, wow, I did this whole thing, maybe it's worth more if you do all these colors and stuff. I'm not sure, but it is extra credit. Hopefully you'll have fun with it. And I learned some things because I haven't done this for a little while. So I made mistakes, but that's how you learn. You go back and you think, oh, I forgot to do that, or I forgot to do that. So that's our extra credit assignment for 17 for the SpongeBob random character using JavaScript, HTML, and CSS.